Hello, everyone. uh, I just wanted to quickly go over some of my ultimate mode scenarios I've done. Kampinoksa Forest, I just took the loss because it doesn't affect my ability to get into Modlin. And I could not think of a strategic way to get a marginal. I didn't even try. The problem is there's forests everywhere, and if you get caught out in there, these enemies are these 15 strength enemies are just going to show up and wreck you. And a marginal might be possible, but you might lose units too. So I didn't bother. So my only plan was to grab all of these objectives, and that was it. And it went pretty well. It took a total of 3 damage, and 2 was on my SE unit, and 1 was on my anti-tank. Pardon me. So, my only objective in this scenario and the next one was to get as much experience on my artillery and infantry as possible, and the other units could get some experience as well. And my plan is to get my 7.5 to 2 stars, upgrade them, overstrengthen them to 2, and then upgrade them. And as it turns out, that worked out very well. I got a lot of good experience here. So, I don't know if anything notable happened. I just slowly moved up, got some excellent kills with my 88 gun. My 88 gun actually got to 1 star. And I don't really have much to say. It was pretty boring. So let's drop that one and move on to Modlin. I'll mute this. At Modlin, my objective was a marginal, which is very easy, and more experience on any artillery not at 2 stars, and trying to make sure my infantry was at least 1 star when I started Warsaw, because you want some experienced infantry. And this scenario went pretty well. I took some damage here and there, but as long as my units didn't drop below 1 star, I didn't care. So, did anything notable happen? I think my 88 gun took out a fortress. I didn't do anything special. I managed to grab all of the objectives, basically, down to here plus this one, and I didn't grab these. I got a lot of experience, which I found to be very valuable for the next scenario. But if you're interested in the exact moves I made, that the no commentary of this is on YouTube. Then we get to Warsaw. And at Warsaw, I tried this. This was my 3rd attempt at Warsaw. The first attempt, I went and tried to get a couple of the auxiliary artillery units. I realized by turn 5 that a marginal wasn't going to happen. The second attempt, I was recklessly advancing units, just curious, how bad is it if I leave something without artillery protection? And the answer to that is it's very, 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 very bad. So under no circumstances should you leave a unit without artillery protection. I got very, very lucky when I went for something with an artillery unit without artillery protection, with an infantry unit without artillery protection, and it survived a massive attack and got rewarded with a movement +1 hero. So it was pretty epic. Here I just wanna clean this up. The big thing that I did that was different is I took all the auxiliary units and swung them around, and they're gonna hit that spot. They're gonna concentrate on the northwest victory objective, and they're gonna be spending a long time assaulting that position. And the other thing that they're gonna help do with some of my stronger units is hit this objective in the back. Not necessarily to take it, but to weaken the units around it so that if I do take it, the counterattack isn't too bad. My plan is to put Oladir here, one of the auxiliary infantry units there, I did not go for capturing the auxiliary, the capturable unit, because it is simply too time consuming, and I need all of the artillery I can possibly get immediately. The scout car I sent around to grab all open hexes for free prestige. And then later on, the scout car fulfilled a really important job of being thrown onto a hex and getting attacked twice and destroyed, but it took out the bulk of the counterattack on the final turn. So the scout car, in my opinion, was absolutely amazing and really earned. I made that auxiliary unit work. I did lose an auxiliary infantry unit and an auxiliary tank unit, and I think the other tank unit was pretty badly damaged. Um, so there's probably better ways to play this scenario. I made maybe a oopsie here, but I got away with it. I bought a third fighter. All of my artillery is overstrengthened and at 10.5. Anybody that could be overstrengthened, except for my SE unit, was overstrengthened. Except for my tank wasn't 1 star, and I didn't bring my scout, who is 1 star, because my scout isn't very helpful on this map. So I brought 8 artillery pieces, plus the one from up north from the auxiliary, so I had 9 artillery pieces plus 5 planes to de-entrench. And I think it worked really, really well. I got my brand new fighter got badly damaged from an anti-aircraft gun, but outside of that, I think it went very well. So you can see I'm kind of making my move. So all of these auxiliary units are going to come, and we're going to assault this northern objective. And it works. It's very, very tight. I couldn't think of any other way to do this. The problem with sending the typical plan is swinging them around and hitting from the east is I don't think it links up as well with joining on this front, because this fortress can kind of be ignored, whereas this fortress can't be ignored. So, and the other thing is, when everybody's on the same front, it makes it easier to collapse all of the defensive units in the middle. And it worked really, really well. I only had to take a couple of risks here and there. I even had 3 turns of mud, and I still got the marginal. So I strongly suspect that this is a pretty robust plan, and outside of some extreme bad luck, it should probably work every time. I don't really have much to say. It was me pounding. I think I had 4 artillery pieces up here and 5 down here, and I just pounded the same spot over and over and over again. Until I broke these fortifications. Sometimes I'd be spending an entire turn just taking out an infantry unit. My 88 gun was invaluable. It took out 2 of these tankettes. It took out this fortress. It did some damage to infantry. I'm really happy with how the 88 gun performed. It damaged the Air Force pretty badly. I had an infantry unit end up at 4 strength, and it earned a movement +1 hero, which is the most valuable hero an infantry unit can earn. And ironically, grenadiers are available in the next scenario, so this is great. Let me just see. Yep, these guys, you're going to see I'm going to build a wall up north. And my scout car is, of course, traveling all over the map, only to die in the middle of the city. Yep. I'm trying to remember if anything noteworthy happened outside of putting an infantry here. I don't think so. You can see I ping pong infantry around to kill them. That's a part of my strategy. Dig them out, force them out, and then have them bounce into my infantry. Let's see. Yeah. I'm grabbing some objectives. It's a beautiful use of the scout car. I didn't advance here because there's this artillery, but now I can suppress the artillery and then suppress this. And then I can take out the fort. And once you take out the fort, the position is much more vulnerable. And I want my 88 gun up in front because there's tanks. You can see I've got a wall. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's a ninth artillery piece up there. Plus, I have my level bomber. And the level bomber was very helpful at the end. The level bomber isn't super helpful until the final 4 turns, I think. And then suddenly the level bomber is extremely helpful. So, oh, and the level bomber was very helpful for the fort. And my artillery performed really well in damaging the fort. You can see my 88 gun did 11 damage. It's really hard to complain about how the 88 gun did in this scenario. And I'm just digging out. I'm already in contact with these victory hexes on turn 6. That's about as fast as I think is reasonable. You know, even on something like Rommel, I think that's pretty fast. Let's fast forward. See, these tankettes are in the way, and I have to take them. I have to clear these guys out. But the good thing is, I've got a bunch of artillery and an 88 gun. So, you know, this is a good situation for getting experience on this unit. Let's fast forward. So now I need to start digging all these guys out. There's this wall of crap in my face. I'm preparing for my auxiliary units to make a push this way. Yep, and I have to keep, there's so many infantry units dug in, and I need every last, I'm using my Air Force for just reducing entrenchment, basically. Let's fast forward. This position's about to crack. This auxiliary infantry unit performed very well. Definitely was crucial, in my opinion, to seizing this area. But you can see even on turn 10, it's really unclear if I'm going to get the marginal, because I'm still grinding my way through a bunch of crap, and the tankettes are really tough. I'm bringing my scout up. I also am getting rain next turn. This is a very annoying unit. Let's fast forward. Yeah, we're on turn 11, and I finally take out this objective. And you're sitting there going, well, how in the hell are you going to take these? Well, the plan is simple. I'm going to kind of flood. The only thing stopping me from flooding this way is this artillery piece. And that's going to be easy to deal with. And then I'm going to start flooding with my heavy-hitting units this way. And it's going to set up Oladir sneaking in to seize this objective. That's the final objective I want to get. Because this one is absolutely going down. One way or the other, that one's going down. And I've always felt like you could take this one in 15 turns. The tricky one is this one. Especially with this obnoxious 3-range artillery piece back here. This is me offering in rain a lot of units for the enemy to attack, so I hope they don't attack my units, and it worked really well. I think my 88 suffered a point of damage here, but that was okay. 88 gun had done an extremely good job in this scenario. Now my level bomber is starting to... I need to crack this artillery piece. It's the most dangerous unit. You know, the line is starting to break. I think I forced a surrender here, and then I destroyed this unit. And then I'm starting to... these objectives are opening up for me. Now, there is a huge amount of artillery, and you're just going to have to take the beating. But in many cases, my auxiliary units were assaulted by the artillery. And that really protected me, which was my plan. And of course, my planes continue to do the dirty work of de-entrenching. I think he goes down this turn. Yep. And now I'm damaging this infantry, and I can stick my scout in here, who actually attacks something for once. I think the scout actually only attacks 3 times. Hilariously. But each time was important. And now I'm making my push. I'm running out of time, and I'm in contact with this, and I'm almost in contact with that. But the AI doesn't purchase units. In fact, I don't think the AI purchased any units here. So you don't have to worry about a surge of tank heads hitting you in the back. This is in my tactical. My fighter bomber did a good job of getting chip damage in, which makes things a lot easier. So we fast forward, and you can see now I have to get this guy out of the way. But because I'm flooding this way, I can at least weaken these units before seizing this. It worked out really well. I had drained this of its ammo, so this entire position is compromised. It's just a question of, do I have enough time? And I have like a wave of artillery coming, right? So I think I turned 14. I start taking pot shots at this guy, just so I can dig it out. I need to force him out. So let's fast forward. Where I turned 14, and this guy's going down, this guy's going down, and this guy's going down. I took out the fort because I didn't want any obnoxious attacks to happen, and there's no more room for infantry anyway. And now the artillery piece is going down. It took 14 turns, but I got it. And this guy will go down too. Let's see. Yep. And I'm offering on turn 14, once again, this auxiliary tank is going to draw the fire of these artillery pieces. So that protects my units. I took out the cavalry, and now I have to start working on the tank and the artillery piece and de-entrenching. It is a lot. My artillery doesn't have to focus on these guys. Part of the reason I broke this position so thoroughly was so on the final turns, I can focus entirely on this region. And it worked really well. The AI didn't even move these infantry. Once again, my level bomber shows up to drain the ammo. And my fighters show up. All of this de-entrenchment is crucial to getting the marginal. And meanwhile, I have auxiliary unit here to draw the fire of these artillery pieces. So this was carefully calibrated, and it just worked. I didn't know that this would work. I suspected it would work, but I didn't know. And I think this worked. Like, I'm pretty pleased with this plan. This is a lot harder to do than you realize. I was surprised the artillery took a pot shot at this and not my scout. And now the auxiliary unit takes some fire again. But they don't want to attack because I have 2 artillery. Here we are in the final glorious turn. And I'm just trying to suppress that artillery as much as I can. I did manage to destroy the tank and get Oladir in there. And he got down to 1 strength when I pushed him out. Yeah. And basically, this auxiliary tank here is there to draw the ire of these artillery pieces, and it worked really well. I think this artillery attacked... I don't remember what it attacked. My tank? I feel like I had just enough artillery to make this work. So my infantry attacked, shoved it out of the city. Then I moved my scout up. I was hoping to kill this infantry. But the best thing that could happen was it got shoved back, and then my scout could just jam this region. So it takes 2 attacks to destroy it, and that means after I took out this tank, only 1 attack could even happen here. And if I put Oladir in there, it probably won't happen. Because the artillery is focused on this tank for some reason. I knew that the tank was going to go back in, but I have so much artillery that I can shove it back out. Because I have my mountain unit. It's going to go here. Hmm. And then it's on the river, so Oladir with that high initiative just smoked it. So then I can just take this back, or hold this with Oladir. And I'm almost out of artillery, but it worked. Yeah, look at this. The artillery focused on that auxiliary tank, which I was happy that they did. That's what they're there for. And then for some reason the artillery focused on my tank. I'm not really sure why. Then this unit moved and hit me, but didn't kill me. So then the cavalry unit did, but now the attack power here is very weak. And then that was enough for the AI. I didn't want to touch Oladir. So I'm pretty happy with how that went. I didn't do Sevastopol because I looked at the map and I said, I don't have the energy for this. This looks like Stalingrad 1.0. I'm going to have to think very carefully about that map. I'm not sure how in the hell I'm going to do it, but I'll give it a shot. But I'm very pleased with how this is going. So the ultimate campaign can continue. I have to get a marginal at Oslo as well. I've got a plan for that. But the ball is in Goose's court, so he'll try to figure out a way to get a marginal here. That's all I had to say about those scenarios. Richard out.